Can y'all even hear me? I hope so. Mm. All right, so last time I was kind of messing stuff up. So, um, things are a little better now. I got it to work. My aim was to make some controls for these eyes, right? So we got the eyes, we got the controls for them, right? My aim yesterday was, in a sense, to be able to control the dilation of the pupils, which I managed to do. So I'm going to kind of go through that, and we're going to look at how high school math actually does help. You know, when I was in high school, I was wondering when would I ever use algebra, or when would I even use graphs to help me? And then when you kind of come into 3D, you get to see it. So those work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through how I managed to do it for this. So I did copy the drivers, but I'm going to go from scratch here. This one works here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove those drivers. So iris small here. Just going to delete that driver too. I'm going to go from scratch. So what we have is dilate small when it goes up. What I actually want to control this is this. When it shrinks to about half the size, what's supposed to happen is it's going to go to that size. So I'm going to click back on the eye itself, which has its different shape keys. Shape keys are typically like what in Maya we call them blend shapes. It's pretty much a modification of the original mesh. You can basically create a basis, and then from the basis you create another copy. From that copy you can do little edits, and then you'd have a driving number. By default it's between 0 and 1, and that would kind of control that. So I'm going to set this to 1 first, and I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to go to add a driver. So of course I have to choose which object I'm going to be using. I'll be using the iris control for this. Right, so when this goes up, all right, so edit the driver, and it might be easier just working in layout view because I already have the drivers panel up. So right now I'm in the drivers. I clicked on that eyeball. I have this, which has its driver. I'm going to choose the object, which is going to be the armature, and the armature has an iris controller for the right eye, right as in this side. So it's gonna be I target R. Let me just click on it just to make sure. Oh, sorry, control pupil dot R. So CTRL. CTRL pupil dot R. That's there. And right now the default expression is var plus 1. So this isn't going to work for us right now. I've also even set it's going to be based on the scale, and I've set a constraint for the scale of that. What it will do is the minimum amount I can go is 0.5, and the highest I can go is 1.5. So when it gets wider, which is another one of the shape keys, it should drive when the pupils are really wide. So control click back on that, and this, right? So here we are. Now the scale I'm looking for is that when it's at, when the scale is at, for the pupil control be at 0.5, then this figure should be 1. I kind of actually drew up something here, like, so the first one is going to be like, when x is 0, when it's at this regular size, it's going to be, well, nothing's going to be happening. But when I go to 0.5, it's going to be 1. And I was struggling with it yesterday because, long past high school, haven't done algebra in a while. And I kind of was just drawing the graph here. So let's say we have our x-axis and our y-axis. X is going to be the driving force, which is the scale value. I'm going to be using the scale value. So right here, right now, the type is x location. I'm going to change that to average scale, which is basically the whole scale. So as it stands right now, if I click on this and I scale it, we're not really seeing anything happening because it's not working the way we want it to. So right now the value is that whenever one is at 1, the other one is at plus 1. So if I do this, change the expression, when one is at 1, the other one is going to be at 1. So you click on this. If I do this a little bit, right now the scale is at 0.5. It can't go any further than 0.5. So I click on the eye, and you notice this is also at 0.5, so they're both same value. Basically that's like x is equal to y. So let's go back to this little graph here. I'm going to use Microsoft Paint. So what I got is x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. So x 1, y 0. That's from here. X is 0.5, y is equal to 1. Basically my graph is going to look something like this. Let's go with a blue or so. And when 1 is equal to 1, it's about there, right? So just imagine us putting points like, well, let's make it bigger. 1 point here, well, 1 point here, another point there, right? So we know this is already a negative value, and typically when we did like algebra, it would look something like, all right, so this is, so we know y is already equal to negative x, but as to how much negative x, we don't know just yet. What we can say for sure is that whenever it is at 0.5, this is at 1. So that tells you, all right, 2. If you will. So basically you need 2 times as much x to make 1 y. So let me just get the eraser. Wow, this is totally not like Photoshop. So here we are again. So we know so far negative 2x. But we have one little problem. So let's actually try and run this, see what happens. If you actually run this all the way to, if you carry this x all the way, so we're looking at the first x value here. That's basically 1, 0. Well, x is 1, y is equal to 0. If x is half of that, y is equal to 2. That already tells us it's a negative curve. But it's kind of shifted out, as you notice. If we were to extend this line even further, call it, well, it's not a straight line, but it would basically be where 1 is equal to, if y was equal to 2, then, well, if x was equal to 0, y would be equal to 2. So that gives us an idea of how much we're going to with. So I mean, I don't know if I'm doing it justice in how to kind of put it together, but let's try it now. So negative 2x, and then when x is 0, y is equal to 2. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add 2. Now go try this out, and let's actually do it. So then let's try x being 1. So we'd have negative 2 plus 2 equal to 0, right? All right, so that's where x is equal to 1. Now let's try with a half. Y equal to negative 2 times 0.5 plus 2. Y is equal to negative 1 plus 2. Y is equal to 1. And now we have a graph for this. So that's negative x plus 2. So I'll go back to Blender and punch that in. So var is going to be my x value. So I'm going to say, I could say negative 2 times var plus 2 equal to that. So we're seeing here, right now my value is at 0.5 and my driver value is now 1. And if I go back here and I say Alt S to take out the scale, then the value of our dilation is now 0. So that helps us. Math, amazing, right? I never liked math. Well, I ended up liking it afterwards. So we're gonna do the same thing for wide. So let me just hide this for now, and I'll show you this one. This one's gonna be the opposite. So what we basically have is the opposite. So we're gonna be using the same control. So I'm gonna do right click, add driver, or I could even just say copy this driver, paste this driver, and I'm just gonna edit the expression. So now we have wide. Click on this one over here, or you could right click here, choose edit driver, brings up the same stuff over here. So right now they have the same stuff. So we're just gonna put var for now, and we're gonna run the same thing on this side. So here's the next one. So what's gonna happen is that for that new one, x, where x is equal to 1, y is gonna be equal to 0, right? But where x is equal to 1.5, y is gonna be equal to 1. So what we do know is that So let's actually plot the graph and see if it's a positive or a negative. That will tell us if our variable is going to be a negative or a positive, and then we can add the constant after. So check this out. X1, Y0, that's us here again. And then x1.5, y is equal to 1, or so. So we just draw our line, and for 1 we do know it is a positive curve. So we already know, and based on it, it's not like, so where half goes up, where it increases by half, 1 goes up by a full value. So we know that's already at 2 times x. So what we got is now, oh, sorry, wrong tool, brush. Y is equal to 2x. And just for one thing's sake, I'm going to move this over because I want to show you something that you can do, which kind of helped me. It's kind of a reminder. If I carry this all the way to where y is equal to 0, it does give me an idea of what the constant would be. And I mean, it's say we went all the way here. Let's assume that line is straight. I didn't use our actual graph, but so imagine this, and we have, well, that. So we continued our graph all the way down to meet this. So 1 would be like here, and 1, 2 be like well, roughly about the same place. -1, -2. So where y is equal to 0, or rather when x is equal to 0, y is equal to -2. So we already know that y, if y was 0, so we already know, like I said before, it's a -2x, and where y is equal to 0, and that's -2. Oh, sorry, wrong way. That was the previous one. That's positive x, and where x is equal to 0, y is equal to -2. So let's try this function and see if this helps us out. Right? So 2x minus 2. So 2 times var minus 2. Or if you wanted to, you could say, for example, if we were to really minimize this, basically be y is equal to 2x minus 1, and that one would have been y equal to -2 times x minus 1. Negative x, -2 plus 1. Yeah. All right, so update those dependencies, and let's see what happens if I click on this. It grows. Right? I think I might have done one wrong thing. Small is that? All right, it's hidden. So there we go. That's a driver. So if you are good with graphs, now you know where it can actually help. So now I can control this like so. And of course I already did them both, so I also have the same thing going for this eye. And I don't have the same going for this one yet. So Alt G, well sorry, Alt S. So I'm gonna run for the eyes too. One more. The function is going to be pretty much similar to the one I had before. So iris small, which is kind of like dilate small. If we're going to do the same thing here, this one can't shrink more than half its size. And this should actually be local space. Same thing for this one. Not world space, local space. Reason being, you don't want the other parent to be dictating the size of this. Local space, save. All right, so this one here, pretty much similar. So what I could actually just do is click on this one. This is the one I'm going to take, because when it shrinks, it, you know, so I copy the driver, paste the driver, and for that one I'm going to come here, iris small, entire iris, not just the pupils, and I'm changing the control. So my control is now going to be my eye target right. So change this to eye target R. And that's done. I didn't want it getting any bigger, so that's as big as it's gonna get. So now we have controls for the eyes completed. Ooh. You're probably wondering, hey, how do you get the head to follow the target? Well, it actually has a property that was created from before. I can choose how much it is. It's actually based on a constraint. So my head actually does have a constraint which is called damp tracking, where the bone of the head is going to follow or aim at this. Example being, if I was to say hide that completely, nothing would happen. Even if I turn this up, nothing's going to happen until I actually hide that driver. I just made it into a property. So the way you go about doing that, if you want me to show you, let me just turn this off because it's kind of creepy. So I'm going to show you how I went about doing that. I'm going to say before I do, because I don't really want to lose my progress. And then what I'm going to do is delete this driver. I'm going to delete the driver, right? So there's that. The actual bone itself for the eye target, I'm going to get rid of this property too. I'm going to do it all over again. So if you go to the object itself, it does have custom, well, not custom properties here, but rather right here. So you'd have custom properties for the bones. Click on the bone, you can say add a custom property, and it pops up right there. So we're seeing these properties. We can say, all right, let's edit that. Give a tooltip. I'm going to give it a different name like I had before. Head follow. Default value was 0. Well, min max 1. And tooltip, whatever tooltip you want to give it. Press OK. So like, all right, let's copy this. Right click on this. You're gonna see it says copy as new driver. So I do that. Right, this is gonna drive something. And for the head bone there, I go to the influence and I say paste driver. So right now it's at 1. Click on the eye target, I drop this down, and there you go. You have a new property. And whenever you click on that object, property comes up in your items bit, and you can control it. So it makes it really easy for you to like do something like this where you can look. So I could even like do a quick little recording, just to do a quick little animation of a head turn. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change this to my timeline, and seeing as I haven't really lost anything now, I could turn on record. And I could actually hit play. Done. So we already have an action. And of course, we can actually go in and do little extra stuff. Typically when someone's looking, they would close their eyes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something like that, where I'm gonna come here, both of these, because recording is on, it's gonna already set the keyframes for me. Make sure the eyes are closed. And I think I know why. So I'm gonna make this interpolation type more Bezier. Right, so that's, I mean, and if anything, if it looks weird, I can always go to my graph editor just to see what exactly is going on here, you know? Oh, that's probably why. There we go. So, yeah. Hey guys, sorry, I'm just seeing the chat. Hey Jace, hey Shaquille, how y'all doing? Huh, you're probably gone now. um, all right, back to my rigging. I'm gonna do some hair for this character. She's been kind of bald for a while. We have another viewer. Alright, one thing to fix up. Cause right, transform. Hmm. You work so. All right. This works. This works. Check. This works. Armature. Nope, that's not gonna work. All right. Transform space. Local space. Hmm. I thought it'd be here. Guess it goes away after the update. Oh well. Alright, so what I want to do is check you guys. Not world space, but local space. And let's kind of focus on that. Edit driver, local space. There we go. That was the issue. So that's something else to watch out for. All right. Let's make another one. I was supposed to fix one other thing because I had taken it out. Puffy cheeks, cheek puff. Edit driver. I'm gonna have to add. Oh no. That's what happens when your software crashes on you. Well, I've been using a lot of stuff. Back to the Blender knitting. Let's keep it simple. I didn't get this before. Check. I don't think I want that. Turned it up to 1. Sculpting. Why? There we go. Yeah, right. Yay. Invert the mask and see what happens. We just pull it out. Where do we? There's some. Yeah, I think that looks good. Too big. Alright, folks, I got works stuff to do, so let's do one last bit. Ah, when you try too hard. Funny. Funny. I'm gonna make the pizza. We should just have another one over here. So, anybody got any questions? There's something here for a while, so I mean, if you have any questions, just let me know. Um, Okay, so what I'm going to do is make another driver for these. It's going to be based on the size. I'm thinking of working with one where we can control the cheeks, up, down, left, right. But I'll just work on the size one for now, which is the one I just made for the blend shape. So first thing I'm going to do is add a size constraint on this. So bone constraint, limit, scale. And let's say we don't want it to go any past. Minimum is going to be 1. Shrink it in, go. Well, let's go local space. So all of you will be, say if we did 0.5 would be, and if we did 1.5 be kind of like the eyes again. 0.5, 1.5. Yay. So what I'm gonna do is just click on that with this, Control C, copy bone constraints, and now they both have it. So can't go any bigger than that. I haven't done the small one yet, but I'm gonna borrow the same calculations that we had done before. These 2x, negative 2x1, negative 2x minus 1, and that should give me a good, I don't know, a good simple thing. So last thing, that's the last thing I'll be doing today. So back to object mode, click on our shape, and we're just gonna make 2 of these. I don't know if it's extreme enough. Should I push this more? We could push this up a bit more. Like super inflated, because I mean, this is a stylized character. Let's do that. Let's just push these further. Just gonna push these higher. I don't really touch the eyes, because about that. Push them cheeks more, pull them up more. You play with it a bit bigger. All right, I think that's good enough. Yay! So, cheek, add driver. It's gonna be bigger. So that means that's gonna be the 2 times var minus 2. And our variable, of course, is gonna be cheeks. Cheek, well, armature, sorry. Armature first. Armature, cheek, L. And it's gonna be local space and average size. Let's update the dependencies and see. All right, so once 1 is 0, just testing it out. All right, works. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So I need to make sure it works on one side and on the other side. So what I'm gonna do is that the same cheek puff. What I'll do first of all is I'm gonna just carry to its highest point, S, scale that so that it's gonna be at least 1. Back to object mode, that's 1. That should be the only thing going. So I'm gonna add a new shape from the mix. I'm just gonna call this one .L, and this one's going to be cheek.puff.r. So one again bigger. See that there? It's even bigger. What if we even did that, you know? What would that even look like playing around with this? Like, it's really pushed though. It could be fun, but let's keep it subtle for now. And so what I will do is same driver. Well, copy this driver, copy driver, paste driver, and of course I'm going to edit the driver, and that driver is going to wait. Edit driver. No, cheek. Oh. Oh, right. It's edit the driver. I'm not sure what happened a while ago. 2 var -2. A bit. Let's just make sure everything is good. Alright, let's delete the driver, delete the driver. So in this case, pull, add a driver, average scale, var, 2 times var, -2, and that is gonna be cheek. First armature, and then cheek L, and that's gonna be local space. Yeah. I almost feel like I want to push this even more, but I'll leave it alone for now. Looks good. I mean, this is always to lift it up if necessary. And copy driver, paste driver, paste driver. Only it's gonna be cheek R. And so I have 2 vertex groups, one that controls the left side of the face and one that controls the right side of the face. So vertex group for the right one is R, right? And for this one is left. So now we have this. So we're good now. So I have these now. I could say, let's swirl them up. Let's have this kind of push that up too. if it was sad, some cheeks, and you could always, you know, squash that down, bring it down to so now we got better control. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of other things I could do. But let's leave it at that for now. That looks so odd. But that's there now. So, those who could hang out with me, thanks for joining. And, you know, we're really living in some tough times. It's not easy on anybody. Some persons have it a little lighter than others, but, you know, as a Christian, for me, I mean, prayer is one thing that does help. So I urge you not to despair, but trust in Jesus Christ, the Lord, and rest in Him. You know, Bible does tell us that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So find strength in Him. And I do, if you do read your Bibles, if you do read Bibles, which I encourage you to do, check out Psalm 91. It's really a comfort to me. But the Lord is a very present help in time of trouble. So don't fear. Alright? So thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you learned something. I hope, you know, maybe if you are interested in Blender stuff too, maybe you can also do this stuff. I definitely will need to do some corrections on the mouth. I don't really want this thing here, this lip thing. I mean, I do like the fact that I can, you know, pucker and such. So, once again, take care and thanks for hanging out with me. So, thanks again for hanging out. Hope to do this again sometime soon, probably by next week or so. Maybe I would have made changes. If you are interested, maybe you could leave a comment in the comment section. I'm thinking of adding hair. She's your typical black girl. Maybe you have some hair propositions that you might want to see. I mean, I have one in mind. I'm going natural, so you know, if you find a natural hairstyle, you know, give me a DM, put myself in a challenge, try to do a few, see what they look like, and play around with it. Don't expect me to rig the hair, cause that's like cloth sim and bones, but or even jiggle bones, but that's it. So, thanks for hanging out. Take care. God bless. Peace.